Hello, hockey fans. Austin Hockey here with today's pregame report for Game 2 between the Florida Panthers and the Edmonton Oilers. The Stanley Cup Final continues. The Oilers are looking to defend home ice and take a 2-0 series lead down south to Florida, where that would put a ton of pressure on the Panthers to defend their home territory. But there's a lot of hockey to be played, and we're going to jump right into it. So in today's pregame report, I'll be going over the projected lineups for the Edmonton Oilers. We'll be going over the playoff stats for both clubs. I'll be going over keys to the game, players to watch, and the score prediction. If you enjoy this video today, make sure to hit that like button. It goes a long way in supporting the channel. And if you really like it, make sure to subscribe as well, as we are building towards 7,000 subscribers. Also, one more friendly reminder, I will be live streaming the game tonight. Not actually showing the game, but I'll be doing play-by-play commentary. The other night for Game 1, we had over 700 concurrent viewers at one point, over 12,000, individual clicks on the live stream, which is just unbelievable to me. So everyone's support in the playoffs so far has just been incredible. So I just wanted to thank you all so much for that. With that out of the way, let's just jump into the projected lineup for the Edmonton Oilers. I can't see Chris Knoblauch making any big changes to his forward group. Now, the lines, they will probably start off the way they did in Game 1, but as the game progresses, you will likely see some shifts, especially if the team does fall behind 3-1 like they did in Game 1. Hopefully that does not happen this time. If you're an Oilers fan, we want the team to get a lead and then hold the lead. We saw how important holding the lead was against the Dallas Stars. You're forcing a team to chase all game, and then they get tired, right? So the Oilers, they had to chase a lot of that game in Game 1. Hopefully that if they get a lead tonight, they can hold it. Top line for the Edmonton Oilers, Nugent Hopkins, Connor McDavid, Corey Perry. They hold a 55.99 expected goals for percentage together as a trio. They have been unbelievable. Corey Perry, the ageless wonder, he is on a mission to win his second Stanley Cup. He's on a mission to win a Stanley Cup so that his son can see it and be there with him. He won his first Stanley Cup before he had his kid, and during the media tours and media interviews before the Cup Final started, Corey Perry did have his son with him. Corey Perry kept talking about how he has no plans to retire, but I think he definitely feels like he wants to go out on top here. So I would love nothing more than to see that for Corey Perry, which is crazy to say because even just a year and a half ago, Corey Perry was on my one of the most hated players lists on, just for me personally. But I've really grown to love Corey Perry here in Edmonton. He has been instrumental in the team's success this postseason. He has 7 goals. That beautiful no-look backhand pass to McDavid on the power play before Draisaitl scored the eventual overtime winner in Game 1. It's just a thing of beauty. I talk about it with my dad a lot. Corey Perry, other than Connor McDavid, Corey Perry probably has the highest hockey IQ out of anyone on this team, and maybe out of both clubs too. I mean, obviously Barkov, terrific player, Reinhart, terrific player, but Corey Perry, he's a wily vet. He just knows where he has to be at all times. He knows where his teammates are, and Corey Perry, despite not having the foot speed that can keep up with today's game, the mental side is actually the most important part. And if you have the IQ that Perry has, guys like McDavid too, you're going to have success in the NHL. So if anyone tells you you're not fast enough for the NHL, if you're smart enough, you can definitely play in today's league. On the second line, Evander Kane, Leon Draisaitl, and Kasperi Kapanen. Now, Evander Kane, I thought, had a hell of a game in Game 1. He had 9 hits, including a massive blow on Aaron Ekblad, and it really pissed Ekblad off. It was a huge hit. You love to see that. Evander Kane, he's asserted himself physically already in this series. Now look for him to start pushing for some offense here. I find that he didn't really get any good looks when it came to shot opportunities. He did have a couple shots on goal, but look for Evander Kane to try and find some open space and crash the crease tonight. I find Evander Kane has done a really good job with Draisaitl and Kapanen at creating space for Dry and Kapanen to work the puck around. We saw that on the first goal of the game in Game 1 when Draisaitl scored off of a shot from Wallman, but it was the forecheck of Kane that allowed Draisaitl to make the initial pass back to the point, and then Kasperi Kapanen, net front presence. Kapanen is also another player that just tries to hit people right through the glass. His hits are booming, man. Kasperi Kapanen isn't the biggest, heaviest body, but his hits hurt. He is hitting to hurt people, and not in a dirty way, but when you're hitting at this stage of the playoffs, you are definitely trying to make it sting, right? Make players go to the bench feeling their arm or their chest or their ribs or something. Kasperi Kapanen has been so good for Edmonton, and this trio specifically, it's a terrific mix of size, speed, and skill. As long as the Oilers have a lead, I don't foresee this line being broken up. The other night when they were down late in the second and then, of course, heading to the third period, they did put Draisaitl and McDavid together, which obviously eventually worked out. But I would personally like to see Draisaitl and McDavid continue to be separated. It is much tougher for Florida to defend the two-headed monster that is McDavid and Draisaitl instead of trying to defend just the one line with them together. Now, on the third line, you will likely have Trent Frederic, Adam Henrique, and Connor Brown. Now, we know Connor Brown was dealing, potentially still is dealing with some form of illness. He wasn't taking part in morning skates leading up to the Stanley Cup Final in Game 1. And then I found Connor Brown's game was pretty inconsistent in Game 1. I thought him and Henrique didn't look that great. However, in positive news, Trent Frederic, I think, looked terrific. I think Trent Frederic may have had his best game as an Oiler in Game 1, though he doesn't really find himself on the score sheet. He had that great look in overtime, the cross-ice pass that he just couldn't bury through Bobrovsky's legs. Trent Frederic, if he keeps playing like he did in Game 1, this line is going to have success. If Connor Brown's starting to feel better, if he's getting over whatever he was dealing with, if it was a cold, a flu, whatever it was, get that man an IV bag. We need Connor Brown at the top of his game. And then on the fourth line, you'll have Podkolzin, Janmark, and Arvidsson. Now, this line, they did contribute to the 3-2 goal, which was fantastic. You had Podkolzin drop the puck to Arvidsson, and then Podkolzin did a little flyby screen on Sergei Bobrovsky. Victor Arvidsson with the old school 1980s slap shot from the top of the circle, and it beat Bobrovsky between the pad and the arm. I love this line. Even though their advanced metrics are not strong, 44.11 expected goals percentage, pretty small sample size overall. I think these three look good. They play well together. They read off each other well, and that's another line that is just chaos to deal with if you're Florida. Podkolzin, he's another one of those players, man. The way he hits people, I would not want to be in the corner when he's coming at me to hit me. Like, I'm just going to put that out there. And then the fact that they have a little bit of an offensive flair to them with Arvidsson, and of course, Matthias Janmark too. You know, he can get in on offense as well. I like that line a lot. The bottom six for Edmonton is going to be instrumental if this team can find a way to Stanley Cup glory, and hopefully this fourth line specifically can have some success tonight. Now, on defense, you will have Ekholm with Bouchard as the top pair. Now, they've only played 2 games together. Their sample size is about 23 or 24 minutes total, and they carry a 46.24 expected goals percentage at 5-on-5. I expect that to keep going up. I think Ekholm, his first game back when he played Game 5 against Dallas, he looked a little bit shaky. Of course, it's tough to shake off that rust. He had missed almost 2 months of hockey with whatever injury he was dealing with. But Evan Bouchard, man, I can't overstate just how important he's been to this team. There's definitely a Conn Smythe argument to be made for Evan Bouchard right now, not to get too far ahead of ourselves, but Evan Bouchard, he is really the driving force on the back end for Edmonton. But you know who else has been a driving force as well? Jake Wallman. Him and Klingberg, who together own a 57.56 expected goals percentage. Wallman and Klingberg have been a revelation for this team. I almost really want the Oilers to give Klingberg a long-term extension here, even though he is on the wrong side of 30. He's had his injury issues. But Wallman and Klingberg, you cannot force chemistry. You can't force chemistry, and you can't force two players to work really, really well together. That has to be some sort. There's usually like a natural form to player chemistry. And Wallman and Klingberg, they just work together. They're just two peas in a pod. Whatever they're doing together, whatever they're talking about, and how they play on the ice, it has translated to a lot of success for Edmonton. Jake Wallman had a very entertaining and busy first game. He was all over the place in Game 1, taking pucks off of shins, off of arms, elbows. Every time he went to the bench, he had a new ice pack on a different body part. And then, of course, he was laughing in the face of Thomas Nozick, who shot the puck over the glass in OT, like literally right in front of his face. I still crack up about it. John Klingberg, of course, his puck movement has been instrumental in the Oilers' team success in the postseason. It just cannot be understated how important Klingberg's puck movement is. Obviously, last year, the Oilers were a great team, and they had guys like Cody Ceci on the back end, but guys like Ceci just can't move the puck the way Klingberg can. And against a team like Florida, where their forecheck is aggressive and you have to move the puck forward, it's been super, super good to see. Wallman and Klingberg, terrific together. Love that pair. And on the third pair, you will likely have Nurse with Kulak. Together, they have a 41.51 expected goal share. Now, they've been outscored 7-2 at 5-on-5 in the postseason on the ice together. So their goal share, expected goal share, is not good. I think Nurse and Kulak combined just aren't working well together. I hope their minutes are a little bit more limited together at this point. I would almost rather see Kulak get shifts with Bouchard and maybe Ekholm get some shifts with Nurse instead. I don't know how Paul Coffey and Chris Knoblauch are going to work it. I did like the fact that Knoblauch and Coffey really did spread the ice time around for all of their defense pairs and their forward groups. We saw Florida, they went top heavy. They played their top 9 forwards and top 4D a lot more than their fourth line and third defense pair. If that continues throughout this series, we're going to see something similar to what happened in the Kings series with LA, where as the series progresses, the Kings top guys are going to get tired, they're going to be exhausted, and the Oilers are going to make them pay because Edmonton, they manage their cardio very, very well. So and in net, we'll have Stuart Skinner, 249 goals against average this postseason, a 904 save percentage, and plus 3.5 goals save above expected. He was fantastic in game 1. Obviously, he gave up 3 goals on the first 8 shots. I don't blame him for a single goal against because of the looks and opportunities that Florida had. But in the final 57 minutes of game 1, Stuart Skinner locked it down. No goals on the next 20 or so shots, 22 shots. And for Stuart Skinner and the team, that is obviously a very massive positive there. Stuart Skinner had to be very, very sharp in that overtime. The Florida Panthers were all over Edmonton for the first couple of minutes of OT. Stuart Skinner, he's got to get off to a really good start tonight, and I expect him to be absolutely dialed in. He has been dialed in since that Vegas series when he came back in Game 3 after Calvin Pickard went down with injury. Stuart Skinner, he's the man. We believe in him. I have his hockey card behind me at all times for support. We love Stu. Come on, Stu. Let's get this thing done. Now, when we take a look at the playoff stats for both teams, the Florida Panthers, they are 12-6 this postseason. Their power play ranks 6th at 24.1%. They did convert on one opportunity in game 1. It was a delay of game power play. The Oilers challenged Sam Bennett's first goal for goalie interference. Did not come back, so the Oilers were given a penalty for delay of game. Florida made the Oilers pay, and if you're Edmonton, let's just try and make sure that if you're going to challenge something, make sure it's 100%, right? Even though we all don't know what goalie interference is, I don't even think the NHL understands what goalie interference is anymore. Do I want to see more offense? Yes. Do I see the argument that there was contact and Bennett falling into Stuart Skinner was influenced by Brett Kulak? Of course. Do I agree with the call? Nah. I'm going to keep my homer bias. Still don't agree with the call, but that was in the past. Now we are looking towards the present tonight, 6 p.m. Florida, their penalty kill is also fantastic, 87.1%. Now, the Oilers, they did score on the one power play that mattered most, and that was at the end of overtime in Game 1. Leon Draisaitl from a feed from Connor McDavid. And if you're the Florida Panthers, I think you have to be happy with your penalty kill overall, but the Oilers did expose how aggressive Florida's penalty killers are. If you have a couple defenders go to one guy, that opens up lanes. And then if you watch Hockey Psychology's videos, which highly recommend, by the way, Hockey Psychology is like top tier hockey YouTubers. He explains that the Oilers power play tries to get those 2-on-1 down low looks where whoever is on the goal line is looking to pass it across the crease, whether you're on the back door or for your Draisaitl, you're in the low middle slot area for the one-timer. That's what Edmonton's trying to do. If you're Florida, you got to make sure that you play a little bit more passive and you don't allow Edmonton those looks. Goals per game for the Panthers, 3.83, which ranks 4th. Goals against per game, 2.39, which ranks number 1 still. Their expected goals in all situations, they rank 5th. Their shots for percentage ranks 5th in the postseason, and their team save percentage ranks 3rd. Now, for the Edmonton Oilers, they are 13-4. They're 3 wins away from destiny. Power play is 29.5%, which ranks 4th in the playoffs. Their penalty kill remains abysmal, 65.3%. You know what? I'm not even going to say anything. The power play stinks. If they got to stay out of the box, right? Don't take a penalty in the first 10 minutes. Corey Perry, please stay out of the box tonight. Goals per game, 4.06, which ranks number 1. Goals against per game, 2.82, which ranks 4th. Expected goals for ranks 2nd. Shots for percentage ranks 4th. And their team save percentage ranks 4th, 89.66%. Boy, oh boy, if they could just get a couple more saves on that penalty kill and really dig in deep, this team, I mean, we know this team is good. We know the Oilers are good. The Panthers are good. These are the 2 best teams remaining in the playoffs for a reason. But Edmonton's penalty kill, it's just funny that the Oilers and Panthers are basically top 5 in every single statistical category. But then when you look at the Oilers penalty kill, it just sticks out like a sore thumb. You hate to see it. Keys to the game for the Oilers. Number 1, discipline. I've talked about it a little bit, but they have to stay out of the box. And something that I talk about very frequently. It was so funny. Before the game started, when I started up my live stream before game 1, I'm talking with everyone in the chat, and they're asking me questions about the game. And I was like, listen, if you're going to take a penalty, you have to make sure it's worth it. Don't take a penalty within the first 10 minutes, and make sure it's not a high-sticking penalty. Well, guess what? The Oilers took a high-sticking penalty within the first 10 minutes of the first period. They have to stop that. I'm pretty sure they've taken a high-sticking penalty within the first 10 minutes of the start of the game in like 6 of their last 7 games. I swear, man, like every game against Dallas, I'm pretty sure they took one. Game 1 against Florida, high-sticking penalty. Stop it. Stop. If you're watching, if anyone on the Oilers is watching, Chris Knobloch, if you're watching, you hammer that message home in the locker room tonight. Just a brutal way to start games. Keep your sticks on the ice. I'm not going to say anything. Keep your sticks on the ice. We love you all. We love the Oilers. We love everything about Edmonton. Number 2, hold the lead. Of course, Edmonton did score the first goal of the game. They had the crowd just absolutely rocking. But again, you get into penalty trouble, coach's challenge deflates you a little bit. Florida gets a couple quick goals. The crowd energy starts to deflate. That's what Florida wants. They want the crowd to feel uneasy. They want them to be a little bit quieter, and they want the crowd and the players on the ice to be a little bit grumpy about it. If you're the Oilers and you get a lead, hold the lead. You saw how important it was in the Dallas series. Hold that lead. Don't give the Panthers anything easy. And number 3, make sure you continue to move that puck. If you're going off the glass and out of the zone under pressure, Florida's just going to bring it right back in, and they are going to continue to hammer home the pressure, especially with the long change in the second period. That is one of Florida's biggest advantages with the way they play, and we saw that in game 1. They outshot the Oilers 17-8 in that second period. If you're Edmonton, you have to move the puck. If you're the forwards for Edmonton, I know you're trying to stretch the ice and they have their set plays. You need a couple forwards back. You have to have support for your defensemen. Make those short, quick 5-foot passes on transition. Skate yourself out of trouble if you have to. Don't put the puck off the glass now. No high flips to center. And at minimum, like if you have no play, honestly, just ice the puck. Then you can reset, maybe win a face-off, and then get going up the ice. Now for the Panthers, number 1, assert your physicality. Yes, both teams were tied in hits in game 1, 51 apiece. But I did find Edmonton's physical side, their hitting was a little bit crunchier. That's the word I'm going to use today. Word of the day is crunchy. Crunchy hits for the Edmonton Oilers. I found Edmonton's hits were much more bone crushing than Florida's. Now, Florida, of course, like they have their guys that hit very hard, and they had a few great hits on Edmonton Oilers, but it seemed like the big hits, those big booming hits, were coming from Oilers players. If that continues throughout this series, you may see Florida start to be a little bit more hesitant with the puck and how they're managing the game. I'm pretty sure guys like Matthew Tkachuk are not 100%. I don't think Mikola's 100% right now. Ekblad doesn't look 100% either. If these guys truly aren't 100% at the moment, they have to get in and keep forechecking them hard. Matthew Tkachuk, he was invisible in game 1. I didn't even realize he was playing for half the game because of how little effectiveness he had on the ice. And if you're Edmonton, got to keep that up. Keep him to the outside, and whenever he has the puck, make him pay. You have to just make these guys pay. You know, Florida does it to everyone else. It's time for him to make sure that they don't let Florida do that to them. And number 2 for the Panthers, get in on that forecheck. I found as the game wore on in game 1, especially for the Oilers side, they really controlled play in the third and that overtime. It looked like Florida was starting to get a little fatigued, which is very strange because the Panthers are not a team that generally ever looks tired. They always look like they just have continuous energy no matter what situation the game is in. But for some reason, that third period in overtime, Florida looked slower. They looked more fatigued than Edmonton. For Florida, to prevent that from happening, they have to establish and get in on the forecheck much more quickly, and they have to get that cycle game going. That will tire the Oilers out. And then number 3, of course, this goes back to game 1 with Sam Bennett. Drive the net. If Stuart Skinner is seeing pucks from distance, if he has clear lanes to see where the puck is coming from, he is one of the NHL's best. It's about getting him to move and also getting him to feel uncomfortable in the blue paint. For Florida, drive the net, drive the blue paint, get pucks low on Stu. His rebound control is not that great, and then get a couple bodies in there to bang away at it. Maybe you can get some greasy goals, and of course, maybe you can run into Stu and get away with it too. So you never know, but if you're Florida, that should be the game plan tonight. Now, the players to watch, I'm going to go 2 defensemen here. Number 1 for the Oilers, Jake Wallman. After the crazy game that he had in game 1, I'm going to go with Jake Wallman as a player to watch for the Oilers, and Aaron Ekblad for the Florida Panthers. I don't think Ekblad had a good game in game 1. He was on the ice for a couple goals against. He was being hit hard every time he had the puck. He looked frustrated, and if you're Aaron Ekblad, if you're the Florida Panthers and Panthers fans, you're looking for a bounce back from Ekblad tonight. Now, this brings us to our score prediction. Who the heck is going to come out on top? Am I going with Florida to tie this series at 1 and head back to Florida, with a great opportunity to defend home ice? Or am I going to take the Edmonton Oilers to defend their home territory and go up 2-0? Drum roll. I'm going to pick the Edmonton Oilers. I'm going to say it's a 5-4 Oilers win in regulation. I don't know if my heart can take more overtimes. I think it's going to be another high-scoring game. I think these two teams know how to score on each other, even though it's very chess-like. I still think it's going to be a high-scoring, very entertaining, fun hockey game. Game 1, if every game is like game 1 in terms of the entertainment factor, this series is going to go down as an even more entertaining and incredible series than last year. And I thought last year's 7-game series was an all-timer between these two teams. So I can't wait for the game tonight. I'll see y'all in the live stream, so keep an eye out for that. And of course, before the game, make sure y'all tell someone that you love them. And as always, folks, fight like a kid, fight like Ben. Let's go Oilers. Let's get that 2-0 series lead. Let's put the pressure on the Florida Panthers to defend home ice when they head back to Florida for game 3 on Monday. I believe it'll be Monday for game 3. We'll see you soon, Oil Country. Take care.